Hello, good evening, everyone. So thank you for joining. So we are actually expecting few more participants to join. So let's wait for another like a maximum 3 minutes, and we'll start sharp at another 3 minutes. So thank you for joining, and please bear with us for another 3 minutes, please. Okay, everyone. So welcome back again. So thank you for joining, and welcome to our introduction session of our PL 300 exam preparation booster session. So this session is we have planned this session due to some of the requests that is given by most of my former students, and whoever who decided to become a Microsoft Power BI professional can enroll to our session, and we can make sure that you go through and you will pass the license of PL 300 at the first attempt, right? So before we start, I know that most of the participant who has joined today knows me, but I'll give a quick introduction about me. So yeah. So my name is Asanka Dishan Sinarat. So currently I live in Canada. So I'm pursuing my doctoral studies these days and full time. So before that, if I little bit talk about my academics, so I already completed a MSc in Business Analytics, and my first degree is in Business Management, and also I have a HND, which is Finance Special. And I have worked in multiple industries. So one time I worked in manufacturing industry. So in that, when I was working in manufacturing, I have completed the diploma in industrial engineering, as well as I become a certified Lean Six Sigma black belt. So in terms of Microsoft technologies, I'm a Microsoft Certified Power BI professional. That means PL 300 certified, and also I am certified in Microsoft other platforms such as Fabrics and Power Apps and Power Platforms. I'm also one of the Microsoft certified trainer specialized in Power Platform. One of the, there are only three Microsoft certified Power BI trainers in Sri Lanka. So I'm one of the certified trainer for Microsoft technologies in Power Platform especially. And altogether, I have 13 years for experience in manufacturing, service, and also in business intelligence. So before I come to Canada, I was the head of data analytics in Capstars, and also I was a manager of business intelligence in WNS Global Services as well. So whoever want to contact me, they can contact me through my Sri Lanka number, as well as I have given my Canadian number. You can just call me or WhatsApp me. Especially the Sri Lanka number, that will you will not be able to contact me directly, but you can call me through WhatsApp. And if you want to send me an email, so you can just send me an email, as well as I think the easiest way of communication would be you can contact me through LinkedIn. Right? You can search my name, and you can contact me through LinkedIn. So the session today is an introduction session. So this is going to be 1 hour session. And after today, so from next week onwards, we're going to have a 6 week intensive training. So those sessions will going to be 3 hour session. So 3 into 6 altogether, it will be around like 18 hours. And it will be conducted in English medium because most of the students requested to do it in English medium. So I know there are some students here that who has studied with me in single language, but this one especially we have decided to do it in English language. So if there's anyone who has some trouble in understanding when I'm speaking, you can just reach out to me so we can make this bilingual as well. So that's up to you. So before we go to our content and what we are going to do, let's understand what is meaning by PL300, right? I hope that you already have a fair understanding what is PL300, what exactly meaning by PL300. So PL300 is a license provided by Microsoft. And once you go through the exam, license exam, you will be able to, put yourself as a Microsoft certified Power BI analyst, right? So, what is the reason for you to get a PL300 exam? Go through the PL300 exam and get this license, right? There are multiple reasons. Number one is the global recognition that you will get, right? So, this certification or this license, it will be provided by Microsoft itself, right? The people who has in the company who has introduced Power BI, they are the people who are going to give you this license. So therefore, this is the most accepted Power BI qualification in the world, right? Wherever you go, what country, what institute you go, what company you go, wherever you go, it will be the most accepted Power BI qualification that is existing in the market or in the, uh, you know, internet right now, right? And also, this certification is not cannot be duplicated, and it cannot be like you cannot just say you are a Microsoft certified Power BI professional because it's governed and secured by Microsoft. So whenever you get yourself certified as a Microsoft PL300, analyst, you will be get a digital credentials, and you can post that in your LinkedIn or in your CV, or if you have a portfolio, you can put it over there. And wherever, if there's, let's say there's a recruiter or if there's a contractor that who's planning to give you a contract for any development, they'll be able to check your credentials and assess that you are really a Microsoft certified Power BI professional, right? So we'll have that global recognition, and you will also get a competitive advantage over others when you get a PL300 license. The one thing is, if you see most of the job posts right now, especially to like business intelligence analyst or like the data analyst, you will see that having PL300 is an added advantage, right? So that in the sense, like if you have a PL300 license over the others, so the recruiters or the headhunters, they will value you more over others, right? And also another thing is, these days most of the headhunters, especially the recruiters, especially if they want to attract talent from somewhere, like their first choice would be in LinkedIn, right? So when you get PL300 license, you can post your license or your badge in PL3 in LinkedIn. So what happens is when you post that one, you know what this term of search engine optimization, right? So let's say you are a PL300 certified Power BI associate or Power BI certified analyst. And if there's a job opening for a, let's say business intelligence analyst, and when recruiters filter the names, your names will come on the top because you do have the certifications, that you will have that advantage over others, as well as uh, especially when you are working in freelancing activities such as in Upwork or maybe on Fiverr, you will definitely have a competitive advantage over others because you are a Microsoft certified Power BI analyst. As well as most of the companies these days, right? I know there are some analysts over here who already worked as a Power BI developers. When they want to go to the next level, it's mandatory in the job description. If you want to get the promotion, you need to have the PL300 exam, right? So not only in Sri Lanka, but this is a global thing. So if you want to go to a senior level or to a managerial level in your job role itself. So you will have to go through this exam, and it will help you to get your promotion, in coming years. Another thing is, this will empower every business users to, right, that prepare their model and how to visualize and analyze their model, as well as manage and secure their data. Right? Whenever they are working a report, they know that when they go through these criteria, they know how to do all these things properly. When they go through this exam, they know how to do these things properly. And the next thing is, I have mentioned AI. Right? The reason why I put this one is, this AI is been driving the world right now, driving the IT world, right? So I'm not encouraging, but I do accept people you are using AI in Power BI development because it save your time and save your effort. But there's a problem. Like, how do you identify the real talent over AI? Right? Whenever you do, let's say, I'm going to recruit someone for my company, and how do I identify someone who has actually know Power BI over people who do know vibe coding? Right? You know what's vibe coding, right? So vibe coding is working with an AI and develop a product, right? With Power BI, you can do that one. So if you know, like, especially the Power BI can be integrated with Cloud, right? You can directly connect Power BI with Cloud AI, and you can do anything, even Power Query part, even the data modeling part, even writing tax coding part, and even visualization can be done through AI directly. You don't need to do anything. You just need to give the requirement and it will do it for you. But the thing is, it's easy, but it does not reflect that you are a true Power BI analyst, right? So when you have PL 300, even though you use AI, whoever going to recruit you, whoever going to promote you, know that you are a person with the Power BI foundations, who know the fundamentals of Power BI, right? So you'll have that competitive advantage that in a world of AI, you can showcase that I'm a true Power BI developer, right? So you'll have this advantage when you go through this PL 300 exam, right? So as a company, what are we going to offer you, right? So this is like a high level thing I'm going to show you. So later on we can discuss in like detail level what we are going to discuss in the session, right? So the first thing is, as I mentioned, this is going to be a 6 week intensive training. Right? This is not going to be a session that I'll discuss and you will do the things like. So this is going to be like a two-way communication session, right? So you will have 6 weeks, right? In the 6 weeks, I'll be giving you quizzes, I'll be giving you recordings, I'll be giving you some mock exams, right? To ensure that your knowledge is fit to go through the PL 300 exam, right? So this is not going to be only on Sundays, right? So whoever joined to the session, I'm expecting some level of I would say like some level of contribution from your side as well, because you will have 3 hours per week, but you'll have to do at least 10 hours in the week on the recordings, on the quizzes, and other things that we are going to discuss, right? So if you're planning to go through PL 300, so I request you to dedicate this 1.5 month to this exam, because it's going to be worth for you, right? So once you go through this exam, you can get the certification. So as I mentioned, so this is going to be intensive training program, not just saying something and you just listen somewhere. It's not going to be like our regular like lecturing session. So it's going to be a training that we need 100% contribution from your side as well, because I'm giving 200%. So I am expecting that you will be also giving me 100% from your side as well. So once we go through these trainings, while we go through this training, you will also get 3 mock exams, right? All these 3 mock exam based on the criteria of Power BI PL 300 exam and model questions, and it will cover all the criterias in the uh, Power BI content, sorry, PL 300 content, right? And also, we do have a system that will track your personal progress as well, right? So in that sense, like this is actually one of the research that I'm doing right now. So I have integrated that research with this course, right? So I'm doing a kind of a, let's say, machine learning algorithm, which will able to personally progress track and a student, right? So that in the sense, I told you that I'll be giving you mock exam. So the first mock exam will be given on the first day, right? So first day you will have the first mock exam. So when you go through the mock exam, so there's a criteria that I have defined, like to identify where is the places that you are lagging in skills. Like for an example, let's say there could be someone who are really confident in Power Query, but you might be struggling on maybe on data modeling side, maybe on visualization side. Maybe someone might be good at Power BI service. He might be not good with writing DAX codes, right? So we'll be like personally like evaluate each student through this tracker, through this system that we have, and we will give you a personal plan for everyone. Everyone who will join will have, they will not going to get the same plan for everyone. You will get different plan for different personalities and different skill levels, right? So this is going to be like a personal progress evaluations. And as I mentioned, like in this week, 6 weeks, so we have 3 hour class sessions, and also like in the middle of the week, you and me will have like sometimes like one-to-one sessions, maybe 1 hour, 2 hour sessions to track the places where you are lagging and the plan to overcome those lagging points. So it's going to be highly personal progress evaluation tracking will be going throughout the session, right? And also those who join to the session will have access to my 20-hour full Power BI training session. So I know there are students who have already taken in-class Power BI training session with me. So who will be joining will have 6 month time, 6 month time for 6 month, you will have recording access for my Power BI full training session, right? And you can go through those recording, like if you want to go through the recording. So you can go through this 20 hours Power BI training program and you can get that certification as well. So there's a different certification for that one. There'll be assignment for that one. Whoever join will be get that free access to that recorded access to that Power BI training session as well, right? So that session is developed for whoever does not have any idea of Power BI or BI. It will be starting from a scratch level to master level. So it's actually a 8 week training program session, but that 8 weeks, so we have recorded and you will get that access to that Power BI training session as well. So if you want to go through that one, so you can go through the recorded session and you can complete the assignment on that one and you can get yourself Power BI. You can get the master's Power BI batch, which is offered by QBItz as well, right? Another thing is whoever join will get a Power BI Pro account. Like whoever use Power BI, you might know this. To use Power BI service, you need a professional email address. You cannot log into a Power BI. You cannot log into Power BI service with like Gmail, Ymail, Hotmail. Those will not work. If you're trying to log into Power BI service, right? You need a professional email address, either a company email address or you need a university email address for that one. Even though you logged into the Power BI service through a professional email address, you will get a free license only, right? But we are offering you a Power BI Pro account, which will cost around $14 per month, and you will be able to use that for 6 months, right? 14 into 16, you'll be able to use that for 6 months of time, right? It's not just for Power BI. We are giving you a Microsoft 365 E5 account. Whoever know that E5 account, it has all the Office packages, all the Power Platform packages, including Power Apps, Power BI, Power Automate, right? Power Pages, all will be there. And also you'll be getting a 1 terabyte OneDrive space as well. So you can use that for your, if you are doing any personal things or like any, corporate things which we need to test somewhere, you can use that account as well for 6 months. And also for all the sessions, we'll be giving you notes and cheat sheets, right? The techniques to how to go through all the criteria in PL300 exam, right? So these are the high level things that we're going to offer you, whoever joined to the session. And let's next identify. Let's discuss what is PL300 and how the exam structure is going to be, right? So this PL300 is a exam, right? It's a license that will be given to you through an exam. So how this exam is going to be held is through a tool called Pearson VUE, View, some say View, I'd say VUE, right? Pearson VUE, right? So Pearson VUE it's like a virtual computer that you need to install into your computer, right? So whenever you register to PL300 exam, so it will give you a date and also it will give you a link to download Pearson VUE tool, right? So when you install Pearson VUE tool to your computer, you have to turn off your if you have like a virus guard, or if you have a firewall, you have to turn off those things because for this Pearson VUE, it has to be, you have to give the full privileges of your computer to Pearson VUE app, right? And how it happen is when you go through Pearson VUE, so your entire computer will freeze and only app which is going to be worked is Pearson VUE app. And you have to log into that app and you have to give access to go through your firewalls and turn off the, if you have virus guard, you have to turn off those things. And it will be freeze all other things. You cannot go to search on AI, you cannot Google anything, it will be freezed, and only app it is available until the end of the session will be Pearson VUE app, right? And also if there's someone who is in countries like UK, Canada, right, they can do on-site, they can do the exam on-site as well. But the thing is, I recommend you to do it in remote. It's easy because you don't need to go through those places, and it's additional stress if you do it in physically, right? And Sri Lanka also, there's a company in Malawi side. They are going through this Pearson. I mean, they do on-site PL300 exam, but I don't recommend going to that one. It's easy because it's expensive as well. It's expensive than doing the remote connection exam, and I recommend you to go to the remote connection or peer through VS and POE, right? So this exam format is going to be mostly on MCQ, right? You have multiple choices and you will have to select the correct answer. And also it has some drag and drop portions as well. You will have some places that you need to fill blanks. So what you need to do is you will have some options on the right side. You will have to drag and drop the correct place, especially on DAX coding, right? When you need to write a DAX syntax, you have to drag and drop the correct functions, maybe correct object or maybe correct uh, symbols, right? And you have to uh, drag and drop and do the correct code, right? And also it has active screen in exam format as well. Active screen means sometimes you will get some question. In the question, you might need to select just like Power BI screen, right? It's not the Power BI screen, like it's just like a replica of Power BI screen. So you might need to select some functions just like you do in Power BI. It's like active screen also there. And also it has some hot area questions as well. Hot area means it's just a static image. So maybe you might need to ask, it might ask you to select the place where you change the data sources, right? In the image, you have to select that area, right? So it's like a combination of MCQ, mostly in MCQ. And sometimes it's mostly in MCQ, and also it has drag and drops, and you will get one or two questions in active screen as well as in hot area, right? So that's how the format is going to be, right? And exam questions numbers might be differed, right? It's between 50 to 60. It might be differs from of someone to someone. So personally, when I did my PL 300 back in 2021, so I had to do 58 questions, right? So for others, sometimes they get 60, sometimes get 50, 51. It might be changed, but in an average, you will get exam questions between 50 to 60, right? So the time duration for the exam is 100 minutes, but you will be blocked for 2 hours, like in the sense like 120 minutes. So you'll have a 120 sheet time, right? So the reason why there's another 20-minute gaps is they will do a ID verification on your because when you go through Pearson VUE, so they will ask you to submit your passport. So passport in the sense like they will send you a link to your mobile, and you have to click on this link, and it will open a camera, and you will have to take the uh, photos of your passport. And one more thing, you have to have a passport. They will not accept IDs, Sri Lankan ID, and you should have a passport to do the exam. They accept driver's license, but I recommend you to use the passport. So you should do a ID verification. You have to take photos from your camera, and you have to submit those IDs, and they will do the verification from their side. And they will ask you to take a photo of yourself. And also the room that you are going to do the exam, it has to be an empty room. So if you are, in a boarding or somewhere, boarding house or somewhere, I recommend you to go to your home and do this, because the reason is they will ask you to take the photos of your laptop from all the four sides, like from the front, back, left side, and right side, as well as your uh, desk that you are going to do your exam has to be cleared in the sense like there should not be anything except for your laptop, right? That's the only thing that you can have. You can have a mouse, and only thing that should be left on your desktop should be on your desk should be your laptop or your desktop and your mouse. That's all. And you cannot have a phone, you cannot have anything to eat, you cannot drink anything, and you cannot have any book, right? So it has to be fully empty. And sometimes for me that happens, for some it does not happen. The person, there will be a person who will be checking you, there will be a examiner from who will be joined live, and he actually paused my exam in the middle of the exam. He asked me to turn the laptop all around the room, like just in like 360 rotation. He asked me to do, but it depends. For some people, it does not ask to do that one. For me, they ask me when I'm doing my exam, so it might happen. And also, like this 20 minutes, you will have to do system check, right? They'll do a system check whether your computer is compatible. So system check can be done before the exam. So when you register for the exam, you can do the system check. So I recommend you to do system check before you go to the exam, because at the last minute, if there's an issue with your system, like for an example, if your camera is not working at that time, you will not be able to go through the exam. So therefore, I recommend you to do the system check before the exam. When you enroll to the session, they will give you a link to do a system check. Do it over there, because then you know your computer is ready to go, right? Because at the last minute, if that happens, so there's no option, your money will go to waste. But they give you a 24 hours to retake the exam, but it's better you do it on the first test, right? You also get stressed. And also you need to sign those agreements, right? You have to select, tick all those agreement and agree to those agreement in the time limit, as well as at the end of the session, you can do a survey. It's optional. You can do the survey as well. So as I mentioned, for the exam, they have been 100 minutes, but you have to be seated for 120 minutes, right? So the passing score for PL 300 is 700 over 1000. So they are giving 1000 marks, and you have to get 70% or else you have to get 700 to go through, pass the exam, right? So this exam is this license will expire in 1 year, but you don't need to pay for the renewal. Usually 3 months ago, before your credential get expired, they will send you an email, and you can go through the PL. You can go through the exam once again, and you can renew it. So the renewal is not going to be like a full Pearson VUE exam. It's going to be like MCQ. Just you have to do it on a site. You don't need to download Pearson, whatever. You don't need to do. They will validate your knowledge whether it's up to date, because like Power BI is a software that get updated every month, right? If you see Power BI official YouTube channel, you can see every month there will be update. So that's why they are doing this renewal, right? You have to renew your license once a year, right? It's free. You can do it. But the thing is, make sure you do that before the expiry date. If it is past the expiry date, you have to pay the full amount and you have to do it again, right? For the exam, cost will be $165 in US, but for Sri Lanka, so they have a special discount for some South Asian countries, especially for Sri Lanka, you can do it for $58. So that's around like 18,000 Sri Lankan rupees, right? This is just one-time payment. Like as I mentioned, like if you do your renewal on the correct time, so you don't need to pay again and again. You can just keep it going forward all the time, right? So that's how the exam structure is going to be. And if there's any question from anyone, feel free to ask so I can uh, answer any question. Right? If you have any question about the exam format, yeah, you can just ask for me. I can give you those answers. At anyone? Anyone has any question regarding the exam format? You don't need to type. You can just unmute yourself and ask, right? Yes, Damit. You can unmute yourself and ask if you want. Okay, so yes, so PL 300 exam is 58 US dollars. So if you have a Sri Lankan passport, you can do the exam for 58 uh, dollars for PL 300. So this PL 300 exam has to be done by yourself, the exam registration. So it cannot be done from somewhere else. Someone else can't do it for you, but we'll guide you how to do that one when you are doing the session, because it has to be done by you, right? Because someone else cannot do it for you. And when you are doing that, so for the PL 300 exam, you can actually register using your personal emails. Like if you have a Gmail or if you have a Ymail or whatever, you can register to the exam using your personal email. You don't need to have a corporate email for that one. And please don't register to PL300 exam from your company emails or university emails, because if you left the company, it will be very hard for you to get the certification once again because you don't have access to those emails. So keep that in mind. So when you register to the exam, register in your personal emails, please. Right? Okay. So with that, so let's go to the next part.
Hi, so I have another question.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. This $58 for the this is for the Sri Lankan passports, irrespective of the residence, right?
Yeah, yeah. Irrespective of the residency, it's for the Sri Lankan passport. But the thing is, if you have like a citizenship of another country, you have to pay the price of that country. So because they are verifying through passport. So if you have a Sri Lankan passport, if you are in the foreign country, you can use it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So now let's discuss about the content, like how the exam content is going to be. So you can see here I have mentioned what are the content of the exam. So usually for the PL 300 exam, 25% to 30% will be coming from preparing the data part, right? So in the preparing the data, this is primarily on Power Query. I'll explain a little more in the next slide. So this will discuss about how you get the data from a different source and how you do the ETL in using Power Query, like cleaning, transforming, and loading data will be assessed on this first part. And the next part is modeling the data. So in the modeling the data, what they will ask from you is how you design a data model, how you develop a data model, and how you write DAX code, and also how you do optimization of your model. Right? These are the things that they're going to ask you in the modeling data. This one also between 25 to 30%. Right? The number might be changed, as I mentioned. Like sometimes it might be 30%, sometimes it might be 20%. Like it won't be the same number. One person might get 10 questions from Power Query. Some person might get 12, 13. It depends, right? So they mix up. They when they give, they don't give in the same criteria. They might change the number of questions that you will get. Right. Another 25 to 30% will be done on visualizing, analyzing the data. So here what they assess is they will assess creating the report, creating dashboards, and how you enrich your report for usability and storytelling. And also, how do you identify? Sorry, there's a spelling mistake. This should be pattern, identify pattern and friends, and how you identify patterns and friends on your data. So these are the things that they're going to assess you in the visualization area, visualize and the analyze part, right? Around 15 to 20% they will ask on the Power BI service, especially on the deploy and maintain. It's called deploy and maintain asset. So basically, it's the Power BI service part. In there, they will ask how you create, manage a workspace and asset, and how you secure and govern the Power BI items in that as a workspace. So these are the basically things the PL300 exam will ask you, right? So let's dive into the first part. So what are the things in the criteria? Right, before I go to the things in the criteria, I think most of you might know the Power BI ecosystem. So those who don't know, I'll give you a quick glance at how the Power BI ecosystem work, and then you will identify, understand, what are the things that usually they ask in the Power BI exam, right? So if you have a question, you don't need to type. Actually, you can just unmute yourself and ask. Okay. Yeah, so Damit is asking for the exam, do we need to pay by ourselves? Yeah, so that you have to pay by yourself because it's as I mentioned, it has to be personally. You have to register for the exam and you have to do it from there, right? So those who, I think you should have a pay understanding how the Power BI ecosystem works, but I give you a quick uh, run through on the Power BI ecosystem, right? So most people think Power BI is just a tool that visualize the data, but really Power BI is not just a one tool, it's a combination of multiple technologies and tools, right? So when it comes to Power BI, right, this is how the ecosystem looks like, right? So here, imagine this is you, right? This person is you, right? And this is your laptop, right? This is your laptop. And you are installing this software called Power BI Desktop to your laptop, right? Power BI Desktop, you are installing to your laptop, right? This gray color box you see here, can you see there's a gray color box around this computer? So whatever happened inside of this gray color box will happen inside of your computer, inside of this software called Power BI Desktop, right? So this Power BI Desktop software can be divided into three parts: queries, data model, and the report, right? So it can be divided into three parts: queries, data model, and the report, right? So query, it's basically the ETL part of Power BI, or you can say the Power Query part of Power BI. In the ETL part, what you do is you gather the data from various sources. It could be on a cloud, like a lake, maybe, or from an API, or it could be a source that come from a data warehouse, or maybe like from a local file, or maybe maybe coming directly from map, right? So the first thing that you do in Power Query is you extract the data, T part in the ETL, and you transform the data. T part, T means like cleaning the data. You cannot use Power, most of the time you cannot use the data as it is in Power BI analysis. You have to transform the data, right? So you have to transform the data, and the next part is loading the data to the model, right? So once you extract the data from the different sources, and once you transform the data, next part you have to do is you have to load this data to Power BI model, right? So the modeling, you are doing multiple things, right? In that, when you come to the data model, you are doing multiple things. The first thing that you do is you connect your multiple tables that you have in the Power BI report, and you create a schema, right? So there are different type of schemas that you can develop. You can create star schemas, you can create galaxy schemas, you can create snowflake schemas. So you have to model your data, like connect your data, right? There are multiple types, ways that you can make a relationship between tables. It's called cardinality of tables, right? So there are different cardinalities of tables. You can, there's a one type of connection type called one-to-one connection, one-to-many connection, many-to-one connection, and also there's another one called many-to-many connection. Basically, what you have to do is, first thing that you do in the data model is you have to create a schema or a diagram in the data model, right? So once you finalize your schema, the next thing that you have to do is you can work on your DAX, right? DAX stand for data analysis expression. So that's where you analyze or you manipulate your data using this language called data analysis expression. You can create columns, you can create measures, you can create tables, you can create calculation groups, you can create visual calculation. Sorry, visual calculation is the next one. You can create those calculations in the modeling area, right? That's basically what you do in the data model. Basically, you analyze the data, you model the data first, and you analyze the data using the DAX language. So once you finalize your DAX codes, once you finalize your model, the next part is the most interesting part in Power BI, where you do the reporting side, right? So when it comes to reporting, you have to consider multiple factors. So how you pick the correct visual, how you filter a visual, how you create a visual interaction, how you make a synchronization of the visuals, right? There are multiple things that you need to consider when you're working on the reports as well, and you have to build your report, right? So this is the most interesting part in Power BI, but there are very important things that you need to consider here as well, right? So once you complete the completion of your report, so still remember your report is in your computer, so it's still in the gray color box, right? So the next thing that you do is, once you complete the report, the next thing that you have to do is you have to migrate from your computer to a cloud. The cloud is Power BI service, right? In the Power BI service, you create something called app workspace. This is like a folder. Imagine just like a, no, it's not actually a folder. Imagine just like a folder where you create your dashboard, where you create your report, where you keep your workbooks, and where you keep your data sets, right? So in Power BI service, to access to Power BI service, you should have the privileges. So there are multiple type of privileges that you can have in my Power BI service. You can have only a view access, or you can have admin, member, or contributor access, right? So viewer will be able to only to see the dashboard or the report, and the admin, contributors, and members will be able to see the dashboard and also make changes in the dashboard, as well as they can connect the data sources which is already published in Power BI service to create a new report or a Excel sheet, right? They will have those privileges, right? So in App Workspace, I mentioned that we have something called dashboard as well as report. Does anyone know the difference between a dashboard and a report? Anyone? Anyone know here? Does anyone know the difference between a report and a dashboard? Oh, I have a former student of mine, Anupama. What's the difference of a dashboard and a report? Yeah, yeah. So we can take it as the answer as well. So simply imagine your report as a car, right? So if you get into a car, what do you see in car dashboard? In car dashboard, when you start the car, what do you see in your car dashboard? You will see RPM meter, right? You will see the odometer. You will see speedometer. You will see maybe the temperature. And also if you have any like lights, like the check engine light or like something, you will see that if you don't have the airbags on, if you don't put the seat belt, it will indicate those things. Like, so basically in car dashboard, what you see is the indicators that you need to see to move your car from point A to point B, right? What you need to see, what your car need to have to move your car from point A to point B. You should have fuel. You should not, your engine should not be overheated. You should have, you should not have any check engine light or something like that, right? Basically, these are the things that you should have your car from move from one side to another side. But if you take the same car to your service station, and if you know, like in below the steering wheel, there's this small port. I don't remember the name, OEM or something called, right? When you go to the service station, I mean, not like regular garages. I mean, like if you go to the like the company services, right? They plug in those. They plug a device to this the port under the steering wheel, and they give you a report, right? So in my car, I'm getting around like 5 pages report. So it has the spark plug health, the whether the airbags are working, right? There are multiple things like if the rear view, the rear wiper, the motor is working or not. So it has a combination of like it has a very detailed report of the car, right? So that's a report, and that earlier one was a dashboard. So having one spark plug not working is a problem, but still car can move. Having your airbag not working is a problem, but still your car can move, right? So similar to that one, right? In a company, when you create a dashboard, number one rule is you should have only one page in your dashboard. That's the number one rule, right? Number two is, right, it should show only most critical criteria. So most critical matrices for your company, maybe the profit, maybe the P&L, maybe the account receivable data, maybe the ratios, right? So those are the things usually you show in a dashboard. But a report is something more like in detail than that. You can have multiple pages. You can put whatever you want to see there. Whatever you want to see can be seen in a report. So that's the basic difference between dashboard and a report. And how you create a dashboard is through reports. You have to pin the most important visuals in a report and you have to create the dashboard. So we're going to learn that one a little bit later, right? So those recordings will be provided to you. You can do those things, right? So that's basically in Power BI service how it works. And also in Power BI service, you have something called publishing apps. So you'll be learning on that one as well, right? So you can combine multiple reports and create an app. Then you can share it with the wider audience, right? And also in Power BI service, you have something called alerts. We have something called subscription, right? Alerts and subscription also like a wonderful feature in Power BI service. Using alerts, you can create a threshold for your KPI. For an example, let's say you have a dashboard which is monitoring your daily sales, sales quantities, right? So imagine for daily sales, you have a target of $100,000, right? If in a one day, if you don't exceed the expectation, even if you don't touch the threshold level, then you can set the logic in Power BI to send an email that this particular day you did not achieve the target, right? So you can get those alerts, right? And also we have something called subscription. So imagine you have a report that you need to share daily at 9 a.m. in the morning, right? You can create a Power BI report for that requirement and you can set a logic in Power BI to send an email of that report as an PDF or a PowerPoint. So that's called subscription. So I have a humble request, guys. Can you guys please go on mute to all your please because I can hear a feedback. Um, or else I can mute you all also. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so you can see there's another question. So guys, and one more thing, I think my former students know, if you have a question, you can always interrupt me and ask a question, right? So it doesn't matter if I'm talking. So if you have a question, just ask the question, right? So that's totally fine with me, right? So this is how this is how the Power BI ecosystem works, right? And also, and one more thing. So when you publish a dashboard to Power BI service, imagine you have to refresh your dashboard every day in the morning at 10 a.m. in the morning. You have to refresh your dashboard. So the current architecture that you have here. So imagine it's come from a SQL server. You get the data from SQL server and you put it into the Excel and it's go to the Power Query, it go to the data model and it go to the report and the report go to the cloud. So this is how the current architecture is happening, right? Imagine you have to do this every day at 10 a.m. in the morning, right? You should not do this manually. You should not pull the data to Power BI desktop and you should not republish it. You should not do that manually. So once you publish your dashboard to Power BI service, you don't need this part. You don't need this part. So what you do is you create a direct connection between your server and the Power BI report using the tool called on-premises data gateway. There are two kind of data gateways. One is called personal gateways and enterprise gateways. So we're going to learn both as well, right? So you learn how to do those configurations, right? Okay, so this is the basic Power BI ecosystem, right? So based on the ecosystem only, you will be asked questions. So the next one that I'm going to show you is actually a guideline given by Microsoft. This is not something I made. This is a guideline given by Microsoft, right? So this guideline is how we create the content of this course, right? So the first part in Power BI PL 300 exam, they will ask you how you prepare the data, basically the Power Query steps, right? So in the Power Query steps, right, or the first part, they will assess three things: how you get and connect a data set, how you profile and clean the data, how you transform and load the data, right? Those are the things that they're gonna ask you in the exam. Only these things. Whatever in here are the things that they're gonna ask you, right? The first thing is how you identify and connect a data source or a shared semantic model. Have you connect a data source, or if you have already some semantic model which is already published in Power BI kind of service, how you connect that one, right? That's the first thing. And how you change the data source setting and how you include credential and privacy levels. There are different privacy levels: organization level, anonymous level, basic levels, right? So you can create those privacy levels and how you can give the credentials. So those are the things they're gonna ask. And how you choose between direct query and import. The third thing they're gonna ask, and how you create and modify parameters in Power Query. These are the only thing they're gonna ask on the exam, right? You can search this exam guideline of PL 300. These are the only things they're gonna ask. They will not ask anything which is not available here, right? And the next thing is profile and clean the data. How you profile the data? How you clean the data? That means profile and clean the data means how you evaluate your data, how you identify the statistic on your data, and how you identify the properties of your data. Right? How you identify how many error percentage is there, how many identify how many blanks are there, how many distinct column are there, right? How many unique data is there, right? Those are things they're gonna ask. And here they will ask you how you resolve the inconsistency of your data and how you handle null values and unexpected value and how you handle data quality issues, right? Those are the things they're going to ask on this part. And also how you resolve those errors in the data, right? These are the things they're going to ask on profile and clean the data. And transformation and loading the data. So they will ask how you do a data type selection and how you do a column transformation. So column transformation, they will ask multiple things. They will ask about data grouping and they will ask about data splitting, right? And they will ask about how to create custom columns, right? They will ask how do you create a conditional column and how you create a column from example, right? They will ask about how to do a pivoting, unpivoting. There are multiple things they will ask. Basically, the column transformations they will ask. And the next thing is they will ask about data normalization. So this is very unique one, guys, right? What is meaning by data normalization? So when you work with Power BI, you don't load a one big consolidated table. You can load, but to the model, you don't load it, right? You have to normalize your data. What is meaning by normalizing the data? You have to remove the data redundancies. The same data should not repeat once and again and again and again. You have to clean your data. You have to separate your data from one big table. If you have a sales data, you have to separate product to one table. You have to separate customers to another table. You have to remove your daily transaction to another table. And you have to remove your location data to another table, salesperson data to another table. You have to know about how to normalize the data, right? Basically, what we are doing here is you need to understand how you separate your fact tables and how you separate your dimension tables, right? These are things they're going to ask, right? Don't worry, all will be covered, right? And the next thing is we'll be doing, they'll be asking about data merging and appending. They will ask about how you do a data merge and how you do a data appending, right? Basically data joining and how you put a table one below another, right? And also how you config the data loading, how you disable a load, how you disable a data refresh, those kind of things. Right? They will ask about how to configure a data loading. So these are the basic thing they're gonna ask in Power Query. Right? Those who have gone through my master's training program might already think that we have already completed 98% of the things that they're gonna ask. Right? So don't worry. So who haven't gone through the session, they will get the recordings of those sessions. That's why I told you that I need some commitment from you guys as well, because I cannot, I can guide you, but I cannot sit you in the exam. So I might need some commitment from you guys. We'll cover all these things either through recording or as in class session or through some cheat sheets. So if you have the commitment, we can go through all those things, right? If you give the 100% commitment, I can give you 100% insurance that you're gonna pass the exam. Okay, let's go to the next one. Next one is about what they're gonna ask in the modeling the data, right? This is another important one, right? In the data modeling, they will ask three things: design and implementing a data model. So this is an important one. So how you design a data model, right? So here they will ask how you configure a table and create column properties, right? How you configure a table, right? Table properties, how you change the table properties and how you change the column properties. They will ask those things. And also they will ask how to play a row level dimensions, right? This one also we'll be discussing on the sessions, right? And also they will ask how you create the cardinality or relationship between tables, one to many, many to one, many to one to many to many. They will ask, and also they will ask one more thing. So this one we haven't discussed in the master session, but we'll cover in this one, which is how you create a cross field direction, right? I recommend always to have one way direction in table relationship, but sometimes based on the circumstances, you might need to create a cross field direction. So we'll learn about how you create a bidirectional relationship between tables, right? And also we'll learn about how to create a common date table in the Power BI model, because I'm not sure all of you might know this one. When you work in Power BI, wherever there is a date column, Power BI will create a date table on the, you don't see it, but it will happen on the back end. Therefore, as a best practice, you should always have a one common date table. Then it will remove those duplicate date table which you don't see, but which is actually on the back end, and you can optimize your data, right? You will learn about that one as well. The second thing that they're going to ask on that model data modeling is creating a date model calculation by using DAX language, right? So here the things that they're going to ask is data aggregations like sum x, average x, those functions, statistical functions, and also they will ask about time intelligence calculations as well. How you do a YTD, how you do year over year growth, those things they will ask on the calculations, right? They will not ask some uh, very deep things like you don't need to use Windows functions. They will not Colliers function. They will not ask those on the exam. So they will ask basic statistic, time intelligence calculations, and our aggregate calculations only, right? And also something I don't like to use, but they will ask about quick measures as well. So one of the thing I hate in Power BI is quick measures, but they will ask about quick measures as well. So we don't have option. We need to learn about how to use quick measures as well, right? And also they will ask about calculated tables, how you create a table, a new table using the DAX language, right? And also how to create a calculation groups. Those who on my recent sessions might know this one, how to create a calculation group, but calculation groups also they will ask in the session, the exam. And also, they have one more thing, which is how you optimize your model, right? How you improve the performance by reducing granularity of your data. What is meant by granularity? Does anyone know what is meant by granularity? Granularity is how deep your data is, how detailed your data it is, right? Sometimes to create a report, you don't need a detailed data actually. So imagine, so today morning I was speaking with a banking professional, right? To him I mentioned that if you want to create a report about a branch performance of a bank, you don't need to go to transaction levels. You don't need to go to customer levels. You don't need to go to like the bank employee level, right? You just need how much was daily, like how much was the daily, what do you call the bank, like how much money came and money was gone out, right? Those things are the only things that you need, right? So sometimes to work with data, you have to reduce the complexity of your data, and you will learn about how to improve performance by reducing the granularity of your data, right? And also, you will be able to, they will ask you how you identify and improve poorly performance factors, how you identify unused columns, how you identify unused relationship, how you identify unused date columns, date tables, right? Those things you have to identify, and you can use things like model optimizations, like those things they will ask, and how you optimize the model performance. Don't worry, this is not a big what do you say, like complex exam. Like these are things they're gonna ask. Just I'm telling you, right? And the next thing is visualizing and analyzing data. This is the third part. This is contributing to 25 to 30% of the exam content. And visualize and analyze the data. They will ask about how to create a report, basically how you select the appropriate visual format and configure visual, and how you create the conditional formattings, and how you do a slicing and filtering of visual. There are three types of filters: visual level filters, page level filters, and report level filters. Those things, and how you configure a report page, right? How you configure a report page, and how you do visual calculation. So this is a new feature in Power BI, not new actually. This was came like 6 months ago, 6, 7, 8 months ago. So this is a new type of calculation that you can use in Power BI. So this is a new addition. So this was not this was not there when I was doing my PL 300 exam, but it is now, right? So you need to learn about how to do visual calculation. And also the second part is enhance the report for usability and storytelling. So how you use a bookmark, how you use a tooltip, and how you use a drill through in Power BI report, and how you do visual interaction, and how you do a navigation. Right? Bookmark could be a bookmark navigation. It could be a page navigation. How you do that one, and how you do a sorting in the report, and also how you design a mobile layout, right, in the Power BI. Because when you create a report, you have to consider about the mobile users as well. So the report, if the user is opening the report through a mobile, they will see the report in the landscape mode, but the mobile is more friendly for a portrait mode, right? So you have to change, you have to create a mobile layout as well for your report. So you'll be learning that one. And the next thing is you will have to identify the patterns and trends, right? So how you use the analyze feature in Power BI, how you do a grouping, how you do a binning, and how you do a clustering. And also they will ask how to use AI visuals. There are multiple AI visuals, like, so we have decomposition tree, we have key influencer, we have Q&A, we have narrative, right? Those things they will ask. And also how to use reference line, and how to use error bars, and how to use a forecasting, especially in things like line charts, right? And how you identify outlier and anomaly, how you identify an outlier of your data, and how you identify anomaly of your data. Those things they will ask in the report. Okay, so I think so. There's a, if you are planning to continue the session, guys, so there's a uh, Google form which was published by the team, right? If you're planning to continue the session, you can just put your name and your details on this Google link, right? It's just your name, few things. Just give me a second, right? It's just few things, like you just need to give your name, contact number, and your WhatsApp number as well, because some people have different numbers. If it is same, just put the same. and your email address. And also, like, if you are a former student who has completed our master program, so you will be getting a 15,000 discount if you are a former student. Like, so I actually requested the institute to give the discount for my all the student, not only in the this particular institute. That if you are a student of mine that you have attended to my any training program in any institute, you can just mention it over here, and you will get a 15,000 discount. If you are a former student, right? So you can just mention that one as well. Then you'll be able to get that discount as well, right? So just make sure that you put these details and they will be able to contact you. So yeah, if you're planning to continue the session, right? All right. So any question from anyone before we go to the next part? So any question from
Yeah,
anyone? Yeah.
yeah, I'm new to Power BI actually.
Hmm.
So what is your advice? Do you think that I can do it?
Yeah. Yeah. So as Bisri, as I mentioned, so the full training program that I do for my student who starting from scratch to master's program, those recordings will be provided to you, right? On next Saturday, those recording will be provided if you enroll. And actually, there might be a little commitment might be required from you as well because it's a 20-hour training session. While you are going through the exam booster session, you have to go through those recording sessions as well. So if you can confidently complete those 20 hours at least within like 2 weeks, then you will be able to go through this exam as well, Bishree.
Okay, got it.
Okay, right.
And one more thing that
Yeah.
yeah, one more thing that so what if you don't mind, can I know the pass rates?
So pass rate.
Yeah, pass rate of these exams on from
Yeah.
your
So
side.
PL 300 exam pass rate is this is not my one actually. This is given by Microsoft. So
No, I
pass
mean the
rate
training.
is
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So this one is like 70%. So all the exam that I given for the mock exam also I set for 70% because that's how the standard should be, right? So you have to attain, at least get 70% of the marks to go through the mock exams as well. So that's how I made the pass rate be free.
Okay. So if we complete the what do you call these schedules and the trainings and mock and everything, so
Yeah,
hopefully we can. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
yeah. No worries, Bisri. Yeah, so just keep in mind like this exam you have to signing yourself like the exam cost is not in the cost, I mean the cost fee. So just make sure that just ensure that just keep in mind on that one as well. This as I mentioned, like this is an exam that you need to enroll yourself. So this is like a training, like a booster program that will help you to go through the exam. So that is not included in the fee of the exam, the cost fee. Please make sure that just make sure on that one as well. All right, so let's go to the last part. So last part in Power BI PL 300 exam that they're going to ask you is how you manage and secure Power BI. This is basically ask about the Power BI service, how you manage it. So here it's basically two parts: create and manage a workspace and asset, and secure and govern the Power BI items. So these are the things that they're going to ask. The first thing that they're going to ask is create and configure a workspace, how you create a workspace, and you configure and update a workspace. If you want to update, how you do that one, and how you publish, import, and update item. Yes, Damit. Damit?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. I just want to find out because because of the work commitments, and you just mentioned that you have another program from basics
Mm-hmm.
to master or something. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the work commitments and the time I can dedicate for both of them at the same time.
Your voice is breaking actually. I cannot hear you properly.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
All right. So I was asking because of the work commitment I have.
Mm-hmm.
Now, based on what you just said to a previous question, like you have
Mm-hmm.
another program that
Yeah.
goes from basics to master.
Yeah.
So this is just an exam booster program.
Mm-hmm.
So if I might decide to first go through that basics to master program, because since I'm also new to Power BI, when will that course start? I mean, how is that going to be?
It will be like in another 2 months we are planning to start. It's a live class, but you will get that session freely as a recorded class. Like recording of
Mm-hmm.
the, as a recorded session, you will get those session free as well, Damit.
Oh, okay. All
The
right.
session will be come to you freely, but it's not going to be a live class. All the things that we're going to discuss, like it's as I mentioned, it's a 8-day session. So all those sessions you will get freely as a recorded session. So what happen is when you register yourself, you will get enrolled to a Google Classroom. So in the Google Classroom, all those recordings, all the mock exams, all the quizzes that we're gonna do, all the cheat sheets will be there, and you will be able to go through all those things, Samit.
Okay. So my other concern is like I had actually done a couple of programs on Power BI, but the problem is that almost all these programs come with their own data set. I mean, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily related to our
Mm-hmm.
industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as clean as what the what do you call the trainer represent. Like if I go to
Yeah,
my
true.
office and if I
Yeah,
go to my
true.
office and try to collect all those data from Excel, I mean, there's an
Mm-hmm.
awful lot of cleaning and that has to be done,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
nothing
yeah,
is into structure, not something that
yeah,
you
true.
can directly import into Power BI. I mean, how do you address that sort of something? I mean, do you emphasize on that?
Yes. So
Is because when
especially
it
on the
comes to
data
our
cleaning.
industry, I mean, it's very difficult. Yeah,
Yeah,
doing your
yeah, yeah,
program, doing other programs with their data sets is quite easy.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Like something that I agree. Like the most of the sessions that even on the internet, and even if you do a course from Udemy or from a Coursera, so those most of the data set you will be getting is actually it's not the real data that you will be facing in the real life, right? In the company environment, right? So as Damit mentioned, most of the data that you will get on the company environment is not easy as it is to manage, right? So what we have here is like we do have like especially in Power Query. So there's like 3 sessions for Power Query in the recorded, right? Recording sessions. You will have 3 sessions in Power Query. So in the Power Query, so it's all case study based, right? All will be case study based. There will be around like 32 case studies that you need to go through to learn Power BI, right? So all the criteria that you will be mentioned, especially like things that is going to ask in the PL300 exams will be covered over there, and also it will have some assignment for PL300 as well. So as mentioned by Damit, so there will be some questions given in the recorded Power Query session. So it will be having the real world examples, like how you, as I mentioned, like I told you, like when you get a big table, you have to do a break it into fact tables and dimension tables, right? So those will be available over there. Then you'll be able to go through those things as well, Damit. Okay.
Yeah, clear.
Okay, awesome. Right, that's a good question, Damit. Right. So yeah, so as a fact, I agree with you. Like most of the, especially if you go through a training program, most of the data set is not what you see. Like it's not like a walk in a park, right? So you have to be very careful, and especially like you have to be very mindful when you're working in the real world. Yeah, that's true. Right. Okay. So let's discuss about the Seku and Power BI, Seku and Manage and Seku at the Power BI, right? So here we'll be discussing about, I mentioned that we'll be discussing up to this level, and also we create how we learn how to create the dashboards, and we'll learn how to configure subscription and a data alert. And also will ask about how to promote and certified Power BI content. So this is something most people does not do, but actually you can promote a item in your Power BI workspace, right? It could be especially like if you have a schema there, you can actually promote that schema. If you have a special workbook, you can promote to certify the, like for an example, let's say you have 5 same type of schemas like models, semantic models. You can actually certify one as the most updated and maybe another one as another level. Like there's a way that you can certify and promote the content. So they will be asked about that, and also they will ask about how you identify when a date gateway is required and how you configure that one. So That's going to be asked. So they will ask about both things. They will ask about how to configure a personal workspace, sorry, personal gateway, as well as an enterprise gateway. So it depends. So for me, they asked about a personal, and one of my friend who has gone through recently, they were asking about how to configure a uh, most of the time they ask about the personal, but sometimes they ask about enterprise gateway as well, right? And the other thing is, last thing that they're going to ask is secure and govern Power BI items, like how you assign a workspace role, right? What are the privileges they have? What are the privileges a contributor has and member does not has? Like what are the privileges admin has but member does not has? Those kind of things they will ask. And how you configure the item level access, and how you configure a semantic model level access, and how you implement a role level security, how you implement a role in the role level security, and how you add members to those role levels. Right? They will ask about that, and also they will ask about applying sensitive labels. So this is also something most people, even the Power BI developers and most companies does not do, but you can actually put sensitive labels like confidential data, right? And public data, right? You can put confidentially labels for your reports and your data sets, right? So that will also, they will ask from you, right? Basically, these are the guidelines that they have given, and we'll be covering all these through things like all of them is not going to be, as I mentioned, it's not going to be like on class session. So we have to do some recordings, we have to go through some quizzes, and we have to go through exams, right? All those things. So, and as I mentioned, the first thing that we're going to do next week, the very first thing that we're going to do is we'll go through a mock exam, right? We'll go through a mock exam first. And the mock exam, we will assess how much is your knowledge. How much do you know about Power BI service? How much do you know about data modeling, right? And we will assess your current knowledge. That mock exam might have around like uh, 70, 80 questions. It does not have less than 60 because this mock exam is developed to assess your knowledge, the first one especially. And through mock exam, we will assess your knowledge first. And based on the knowledge, we'll give you first a personal guidance. Right? You and me can have one-to-one session, and you will have a personal guidance like what are the things that you need to focus more, and what are the areas that you are have confidence on, and what are the things like you have to go through, like what are the like sample data sets and how sample things that you have to go through. All these things will be guided, right? And also you will have the 20-hour video session, even though there are students, like I think around like 70% here is today are my former students, but I request you all to go through this 20-hour video session once again. I know you are good. I know most of you are working as Power BI analyst and data analyst right now, but I recommend you to go through those video session once again to recap your memory, right? So you can understand, you can see the weightage of this exam. This is an easy exam. I just need to make sure that you all pass. So that's why I given you like this kind of a tough schedule, right? And also you'll have like three mock exam. So this is different. This is like exam based. This is like to assess knowledge, right? So altogether there are only four. One is like assessing knowledge, and you will have another three as well, right? And also we'll have daily quizzes, and also you will eventually you'll be able to make yourself as a Power BI certified, Microsoft certified Power BI analyst, right? So these are the plan and the content that we're gonna do, right? And next week onward we're gonna start, and next Saturday onward you will get those, access to all those resources, and you'll be able to go through this PL3 and exam towards success. So this is the plan, and this is what you're going to do next week onward. So as I mentioned, so today's session is mostly focused on like to explain you what's going on. So today is without the 6 days, right? So today is different, just introduction. So we'll have another 6 days differently. So it's not going to be 5 days, 6 days. So that's how it's going to be, right? So we have good questions. So anyone else has any questions? If anyone else has any question, you feel free to ask.
This sessions, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can
this
hear you.
session, yeah, this sessions usually every Sundays.
Yeah, every Sunday from 7 to 10 p.m. It will have like 15 minutes break. So I need 3 hours from you guys. So I just need some commitment on the Sunday evening. Okay. Right. And
Are we getting the recordings?
yes, exactly. You will get in the recording of the PL300 exam, as well as you will get in the recording of the master's program as well.
And I have a small question. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. We can hear you.
So,
Yes, please.
Because I'm attending from Middle East, so is it possible there is a because for Sri Lankan timing, my we are getting off like 8 o'clock. So part of the class will be missed. That's only
Oh,
thing.
okay. So what I'll do is like for the first session, can you come to the first day? So we can have like a quick vote and we can just decide. I think most of them will agree, right, on those conditions. Like for the first session, if you can like make a exception. I'm sorry, what's your
Yeah,
name?
because
Marsha.
previously also I was attending your session in the
Okay.
that was after 8 to
Yeah,
10:30 or something.
yeah. So we can make that exception. Like let's on the first day we can decide. Like I think most of them will agree with them, right? We
No
can do
problem.
that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If most of them agree, is it possible to change the days? If most of them agree, like change the day in the sense like Saturday instead of
I'm sorry,
Sunday.
Bisri. So
It's not
I'm
possible.
actually a bit tight on the schedule, especially on the weekdays.
Okay.
I'm like fully studying. So Saturday
Okay.
also I do some like other work. So I'm sorry, Bisri, it won't be
No worries.
possible
No
for
worries.
me to
Okay.
do on Saturday. Yeah. Yeah. Any question? Dilum? Dilum was asking a question. So whether we can finish this by December 28th. December 28th, yeah, it'd be possible to do it around that time. So, but I recommend you, Dilum, do it on like January 2nd week, the exam. Because at the end of session, we'll do another mock exam. And after the mock exam also to at least like first week, like if you can switch it back to another week, it will be better, I believe. Right? Anything else from anyone? Supun?
Hello. Yes.
Yeah,
Can you
Kushan.
hear me? Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you, Kushan.
Quick question about the exam. Now, I know that it's we have to book the exam and we have to schedule it. But when it comes to the number of attempts for that exam, it's one attempt per registration, right?
Yeah, one attempt. But if you fail on the first attempt, they will give you a free attempt within next 24 hours. But you have to do it in next 24 hours. If you first attempt, if the second attempt within 24 hours also failed, you have to pay it again, Kushan. So there's no option.
Right. Thank you.
But I'm not sure. Like it's okay to say the name. So there are companies in Sri Lanka who has their Microsoft license, which has enabled free coupons for these exams. For an example, like I know there are people who worked here in MS Holdings, right? Especially in MS Holdings, they can do free exams. It's all these PL300, DP100, all these exams they can do freely. No matter how many attempts, they can do freely, right? So most of the companies usually based on the license that they have purchased, maybe like 50% discount will be available, maybe like 75% discount will be available, and this will be there, right? Any-
Hi, Asanga. How to check whether the discounts are available from company side or not? Do I
yeah,
have to talk to the
yeah,
IT?
definitely. You don't need to talk to IT. So when you Okay, so for that one, it might take some time for you to explain right now. So I'll show that on the next day we have, because what you have to do is we have to register ourselves and we have to create the learn account first. And when you create the learn account, and the place where you're going to schedule your exam, you can actually combine your professional email as well there. That combining the professional email in the sense like you can combine your work email there, and if your work email already have a coupon, it will be automatically applied. So.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Okay, so I'll show that on the next day as the very first thing. Cool. Any other question from anyone? And I didn't want to say this one, but most probably there will be a voucher given. This is happening, still happening. I can't ensure that 100%. Like there's like a 90% of chance that you guys will be able to do this exam freely. So I'm working on that one. So I'll try, but don't be like 100% sure on that one. As I mentioned, 90% is there. That's why I didn't say that one. So they'll be able to do the exam freely. So there's a voucher program right now going on. I'll guide you on that one. Okay. Right. Anything else, guys? All good? Okay, so I hope you have a productive session, and I hope you enjoy the session as well. Sorry, I think I have to little extra, around like 25 minutes. So I plan to complete this in 1 hour. But it was a good session, but because we had a good discussion as well. So yeah, if you have any question, as I mentioned, we'll share these recordings as well as we'll share these documents with you. You have my number there, and you can simply chat me on the LinkedIn. So that's the best place to chat with me. And if someone wanted, I can put my number as well. So if you want to call, just call this number because my Sri Lanka number is not, most of the time it's not available. Right. So you can also, it should be, okay, I'll edit it. There should be a plus in front. Yeah. So this is my Canadian number. You can WhatsApp call me at any time. Right. Anytime in the sense like if you can call, please call after like 3 p.m. Sri Lankan time, because or else like in the morning for you, like it's like midnight for me. Like, so call me around like after like 3 p.m. It will be really helpful. Yeah. You can call me, and you can, if you need any guidance, you can take the guidance from me. Yeah. So thank you so much, guys, and hope you have a productive session. And yeah, see you in the next week.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.